Today, Prince William has cast off a disastrous month for the British royal family and given his most personal interview ever. It's just been released, even though it was filmed in Brazil last week. He speaks for the first time in intimate detail about the fact that he told his three children, including the heir to the throne, Prince George, about the extent of Catherine's cancer battle. Now, of course, this is quite a moment for William. He doesn't usually like talking about this stuff, and it comes actually as his anger grows about the fact that his own family pushed him off the front pages last week, including, by the way, these terrible, embarrassing pictures which have just emerged of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle inside that Kardashian party on Saturday night. These were only released by 70-year-old Kris Jenner, by the way, after the moans about the fact that she didn't include Harry and Meghan in the first edit of the pictures. So we will get to that in just one moment. But first I want to turn to Prince William and this Brazilian TV interview where he reveals that, of course, there were difficult questions that the children had as he opens up about parenting and how, as a family, they deal with the challenges thrown at them. Watch this first part.
The play day to have dinner with her kids.
Taxi driver this year. Play dates.
Truly, you do this?
Yeah.
No jokes?
Play dates, taxi driver, sports days, matches, playing in the garden when I can.
Will you take them to school?
Oh yeah, school run most days. I mean, Catherine and I share it. She probably does both of them. But
Okay.
I'm doing, a lot of the week.
And about screens, I think the same problems I have at home. How do you do with digital, with social networks?
It's really hard. Our children don't have phones. I think when George moves on to secondary school, then maybe he might have a phone that has no internet access.
But now how is he now?
He's 12.
And he has no phones?
No phones.
No way.
And to be honest, it's getting to the point where it's becoming a little bit of a tense issue. But I think he understands why. We communicate why we don't think it's right. And again, I think it's the internet access I have a problem with. I think children can access too much stuff they don't need to see online. And so having a phone and text message, the old sort of brick phones they call them.
Now, this is William at his best, isn't it? Because not only is he being honest about the fact that, yes, there are currently tensions between me and my son, who just so happens to be the future King of England, about the fact that his mates all might have phones, but I'm not allowing him to have one. Contrast it to the way that Harry and Meghan talk about this issue. And it's all about bringing down the big tech giants. And it's all about a conspiracy. Whereas with William, this is a personal decision that he is making as a parent. But I think that decision will influence far more people who think, actually, if this is okay for the King of England, the future King of England anyway, then it's okay for me too. But then the next part of the interview was far more personal. And it was when William was asked how he tackled Catherine's cancer diagnosis. And you've got to think of the context of this. At the time, both William and Catherine were incredibly worried that Catherine was actually going to lose her life as a result of this battle. Did they tell the children? Well, yes. Yes, they did. And it wasn't an easy decision. This is the first time William has opened up about this.
I think what happened is how you're ending this year, the things that change and how you deal with that with the kids.
Yeah, I think every family has its own difficulties and its own challenges. And I think it's very individual and sort of moment dependent as to how you deal with those problems. We choose to communicate a lot more with our children. Now that has its good things and its bad things. Sometimes you feel you're oversharing with the children, you probably shouldn't. But most of the time, hiding stuff from them doesn't work. And so explaining how they feel, why that's happening, give them other viewpoints as to why they might be feeling like they are, sometimes helps give...
Fascinating conversation with William.
It's very surprising, isn't it? Because, as you know, he doesn't like to talk personally at all, certainly not to anyone who wants to interview him. But he's softened up. We saw one already, and he does seem now to feel that I'm more confident about talking to people and I want them to know, and perhaps I can help others too. And I think that's incredibly brave of him. I think bringing up parents is jolly awkward, and if you do very well for one, the other two and the third can actually have very different personalities, so you have to start all over again as to how you can do it. And he's got very different children, hasn't he? And I think it's quite brave to do that, because you don't know how they're going to respond to that, and you don't want it to be very, very heavy on their shoulders. But they seem to be marvellous. I think it's very brave of him, incredibly brave. I think you can, never mind about the phones and all that sort of thing, but actually to say that their mother might pass away. And they also told about their grandfather, King Charles. And for the child, they all liked him very much. Louis was absolutely crazy about his grandfather. And actually, you don't want to upset them, give them nightmares in that way. But he obviously felt that their children were brave enough, old enough, and could handle it. I think that shows that they're marvellous children. Very, very difficult to say.
Well, yes, because Angela, Prince George just 12 years old, and there he is in place of his father at the Remembrance Day event at Royal Albert Hall on Saturday night. William had obviously just returned home from Brazil. But there was some real choreography here, Angela, and it had historical significance, did it not? Because it was all about showing, yes, there are mortality issues with our king. I mean, Angela, you only have to look at the pictures that night, and he looked vulnerable, emotional, and incredibly unwell. Incredibly unwell, covered in makeup, because, of course, he is trying to hide the effects of this ongoing cancer treatment. And God bless him for continuing his duty in a way that his mother would have been proud of, Angela. But George knows, and they're going to be safe with this, they're going to be slow with this, it's going to be gentle, but he knows that there is a reason at just 12 years old that he is going to be seen a little bit more. It's a difficult thing, but I'm pretty confident that William and Catherine are dealing with this in a mature way. And as William said in that interview, part of that involves being very open about what's really going on. So your grandfather isn't in the best place, and that's why we need to see more of you.
They're dealing with their children almost as adults, which can work extremely well, that you can tell them things, you trust them, they know a lot. But if you treat them like babies and that they talk to them in that way, it's a very, very different child that you're bringing up. I've always talked to my three as if they're adults too, confided in them to an extent, and actually made them sure that they were one of us rather than a very different mob in the corner.
I love that, indeed. And when you compare it and contrast it to the very awkward and uncomfortable and unusual and, let's be honest, quite weird upbringing that Archie and Lily are going through, as if they're sort of the new Michael Jackson children in Montecito, it's a very different thing. And Angela, look, I've got to take you through what's been going on with Harry and Meghan after this disastrous appearance at Kris Jenner's 70th birthday party on Saturday night, which received so much criticism, of course, because Meghan didn't bother to wear a poppy. Harry was there at exactly the same moment that his family were officially taking part in those very poignant royal duties. And then yesterday, Kris Jenner releases this slideshow of all of the big stars who were at the event and doesn't include Harry and Meghan, which is, of course, like the ultimate diss. So as Toomey pointed out 7 hours ago, Kris posted a bunch of photos and Harry and Meghan weren't in them. They must have called and complained because Kris just posted the pictures with them. Now let's look at these pictures, Angela, because they are so uncomfortable.
Look at Harry.
Yeah.
He's got his face to face to Kris Jenner, and Meghan looks very cross. She's standing upright, and she's not enjoying that.
No,
Don't
and
you
there's
agree
some
with me?
others.
You agree with me?
I do. And then look at that. Meghan is not happy because obviously Kris is more interested about the fact that Harry is there. But if you look at the next picture, it just shows you Meghan wanted to be the belle of the ball at this event. But it's all quite mortifying for them, Angela, because if you also see, they were captured in the background of some other pictures that Kris Jenner put up. And that's where you see the real Harry, right? Meghan's loving the party. He looks miserable and completely uncomfortable to be there.
I thought he would feel a bit guilty to go there on that day, which is so important to all of us, but also especially Harry. He's always talking about it. And yet when it's on there, he's just doing something that he really doesn't like.
And that he always said this was never going to be what their life in California was.
Yeah.
The Royal News Network posted on this. Another 2 pictures have posted up and neither are all that good. Harry and Meghan seem awkward, as if they have a tenuous connection to this crowd but haven't really integrated. They're not in any of the big group shots. And the more pictures you see, the more it becomes apparent how much like Andrew and Sarah they are. They're completely attracted to power and influence and more than willing to throw away their standards to chase the fortune they can't generate on their own. But then Charlotte Griffiths, who, Angela, you know we've spoken about her because she's become a bit of a propagandist for Harry in recent months, the editor-at-large of the Mail on Sunday. She went on GB News, Angela, and argued that Harry was forced to show up. So she's trying to defend him and push the blame onto Meghan Markle. I'll get your reaction, Angela, but first I just want to show you what she had to say.
But Harry is a veteran himself. Harry just last week went to Canada while his brother was in Brazil, trying to, I suppose, in some way, steal a bit of attention from his brother, but also to support veterans in Canada. Now, this is a really important weekend for Harry. He, I'm sure, wishes he was in London at the Cenotaph, but because of his behaviour over the years, he hasn't been there. But to have gone out, he really should have stayed in. He knows this. He's been in the royal family for 41 years. He knows how it works. He knows that is a really stupid thing to do. And do you know what I really think? I just think he doesn't have any agency in the decision-making that goes on in his marriage. I really think if he'd had his way, he would have stayed in that night, because it's the obvious thing to do is not to go out partying on the Remembrance weekend.
Angela, what do you make of that?
Well, that's absolutely right, but that's his choice. And I've actually said to you many times that he's terrified of Meghan. If he hadn't gone with her, she needed him as her sort of slave or next door neighbour or something like that. She wanted him there for her, so that if for some reason she was left in a corner, there she was with the prince. He wasn't interested in that. Look, he's pulling her along, looking extremely unhappy. But, you know, he's got to fight her. If he doesn't want to fight her and he wants to give in completely to her, then that's his fault. And it's quite interesting because I felt like this a long time ago, and you felt like it a long time ago. But now people are actually saying, well, you know, poor old Harry. It's not poor old Harry. This is poor old, a very unhappy Harry who made the wrong mistake. The right mistake.
Yeah, 100%. And the colour from inside the event is just even more humiliating. Angela, I want to take you through this report from Rob Shue.
Every family has its difficulties. William opens soft, emotional, but Dan immediately frames it as a tense issue within the royal family. He's setting the tone. William's family is trying to stay dignified while chaos brews elsewhere. This opening is designed to contrast honesty versus hypocrisy. William opens his heart. Meanwhile, Harry and Meghan are off partying with Kardashians. The media setup is intentional, and Dan knows it. Black Right Arrow # do you think William's emotional openness is genuine or just royal PR? Comment real if you believe him, or acting if you don't. This is massive. The future King of England is openly saying he restricts tech for his kids. Compare that to Meghan's endless crusades against big tech, but with zero personal examples. William lives it. Meghan lectures about it. William, my children don't have phones. Harry and Meghan, let's produce a Netflix special about internet trauma. See the difference? One leads by example, the other moneyises the message. Black Right Arrow # would you ban your kids from having phones at 12 like William? Type yes or no below, let's see what parents really think. This is rare royal vulnerability. He talks about oversharing versus hiding pain, admitting that shielding kids doesn't work. That's real, raw parenting, the kind the public connects with. Compare that to Meghan's calculated emotion, every teardrop choreographed for maximum camera impact. William, on the other hand, looks broken yet brave. Black Right Arrow # do you think this will make the public see William differently, more human? Type respect if you feel for him. Angela praises William and Catherine's courage in preparing their children for royal reality, especially as King Charles's health declines. This is a generational moment. William is teaching his children about mortality, while Harry is running from responsibility. Prince George stands in for his father during Remembrance Weekend, a subtle signal of the future king stepping forward. William, duty through transparency. George, the heir learning from pain. Harry, escaping duty through distraction. Black Right Arrow # did you notice how George was positioned front and center recently? Symbolic or coincidence? Drop your thoughts. Dan pivots from dignity to disgrace, showing Meghan and Harry at Kris Jenner's party without poppies during Remembrance Weekend. This is the optics disaster of the year. William talks about family and cancer while Harry's dancing in LA with Kris Jenner. Meghan's face tense, Harry miserable. The contrast writes itself.
Harry's embarrassing night, guests ask who invited them. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's surprise appearance at Kris Jenner's star-studded 70th birthday bash has left Hollywood insiders buzzing and baffled. The royal rebel slipped into Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez's $175 million mansion for the James Bond-themed soiree, hand in hand and looking every inch the glam power couple. But there was one problem. They weren't on the official guest list. People were wondering who brought the Sussexes, one attendee laughs. It was giving mystery plus security breach. Even megastars like Oprah and Kim Kardashian swore they didn't extend the invite. In Hollywood, everyone assumes someone else did, a source ad. Witnesses say the pair looked polite but distant and exited before Bruno Mars hit the stage. They smiled, mingled for 10 minutes, then vanished, another insider revealed. One thing's for sure, even at Kris's most exclusive bash, Harry and Meghan proved they're still the ultimate uninvited guests. So whether that's true or not, Angela, the point is what's so interesting is they still have people briefing against them.
Yes, well, it's been for a long time. That's why they either buy the tickets to go somewhere or else they just turn up. I mean, we've seen it so many times now. In Paris, she did that. She's determined to be absolutely in the front. For her, it's an A thing to be with all the, Kris Jenners and all that lot. She's absolutely thrilled by it. But Harry, it means nothing. Quite rightly so too, and they just do it. She's very determined, she's very rude, she just barges in and she insists on all these things she wants to do, and the fact that she's there is enough because the world can see her, and she might get an offer for something very important if she's seen, but it's very easy to work it out that nobody wanted them at all. Their whole popularity is absolutely fell right down for nothing because people can see they've been so rude about the royal family, so rude about the king who is not well, so rude about Catherine who has not been well, and they are just a very nasty couple. And people just see that now. And also for the thing about their children. Why don't you turn them round so people can see them? Nobody's going to go after them, and this way you're showing every sort of type of child they are, so that you can actually work out virtually what they look at, and they don't, and it's just horrible for them. And this child at 4, she's still got a nappy on. Well, she's supposed to be brilliant. Meghan says she talks wonderfully and argues about things and she's amazing. Well, she was like that, quite frankly. Children actually don't wear nappies at that age at all.
Yeah, it's very interesting, isn't it? Angela, I've also got to ask you about the latest was never with Love Meghan disaster. So, as ever, and I use that term purposefully, as ever, Meghan got all of this wrong, because do you remember she was insistent a few weeks ago that this was going to come out in November, before Thanksgiving. It's now been delayed until the 3rd of December, which makes it even more awkward that she's not using the word Christmas anywhere because she's so woke. So she's got a Christmas special with Christmas decorations, but she will not use the word Christmas. She's calling it a holiday celebration. Now, the Royal News Network posts on this. I thought it was debuting in November. Did Meghan not just say that a couple of weeks ago? Oh, well, get ready for the most boring, pretentious, and basic Christmas tips of all. Come on, Meghan, just say Christmas, especially since this is airing after Thanksgiving. And Angela, it just shows you, doesn't it? She can't even get the release date locked down. She insisted it was this month, and now it's after Thanksgiving, but she's still refusing to use the word Christmas, which to me is the ultimate in wokery. It's like, Meghan, you are Christmas. You celebrate Christmas. This is about Christmas. What is this holiday thing?
Yeah, but the other thing that makes me laugh is that all the drinking, the alcohol, has to be removed because they didn't get any allowance to have alcohol. So that's one other thing that's absolutely ridiculous. And the other thing, as I saw about 10 people putting up something this morning in X saying that they spent $85 to get a very nice smelling candle, but actually it hasn't got anything to put through it, so you can't light it.
The wick.
And you think, how can they actually be so careless? See, it means she's not really that interested. She thinks she's so interested. She tells us she's interested. She watches everything that everyone else does. She tastes it. It's very important to her. But actually, when it comes to it, she doesn't do any of these things properly. And presumably, she doesn't tell anybody else, please do it for me. So, it's just... it must be a disappointment to her, really. But
okay, well, I've got to show you how bad her little recipes are, okay? So watch this. This was the latest Instagram story that she posted to coincide with the announcement. Yes. Now, this is bagels with cream cheese, but then strawberries and flour sprinkles. Honestly, that looks like something I would make, Angela, and let me just tell you, I am the worst chef/cook in the world. It looks flung together, entirely unappetizing, and that's the best she's got. I mean, I've got to read you out a couple of tweets about this. Princess Carpuckle said, what in the ever-loving fresh hell is this? So now to serve cream cheese, we are smearing it on a plate, throwing leaves on it and calling it elevated? Get me out of here. The fruit goo looks disgusting. Prince and Princess of Wales tweeted, what the feck is this? Is Meghan the worst food influencer you have ever seen? I swear to God, she makes everything look nasty. And I was thinking that, Angela, right? Because anyone knows me knows that I love my food, right? I absolutely love my food. But I am not touching that. It looks revolting.
It does look revolting, actually. Yes, I don't think she's got a good idea of clothes or of how to design food. And I would have thought that turns your stomach and you pretend you're not very hungry that day. I mean, it is just really appalling. And also to put those little flowers, or I don't know what they are there. I mean, it's just a silly positioning, isn't it?
It's awful. It's absolutely awful.
No point. Absolutely no point.
No, and I'm sorry, I'm really big on this. Like, I don't want strawberries on my savoury bagel with flour sprinkles.
And they make them soggy. It makes it soggy very, very quickly.
Awful. And so we've got her career collapsing, right? And then at the same time, Prince Harry's court case is collapsing, Angela. Look at these new headlines. Prince Harry drops key witness. In phone hacking case, the private investigator will no longer be called to give evidence against the Daily Mail publisher. Here's the report from the Daily Telegraph. The Duke of Sussex and others suing the publisher of the Daily Mail will not call a key figure at the heart of their case after he withdrew his cooperation. 5 of the 7 claimants, including Sir Elton John and Baroness Lawrence, had told the High Court that it was only because of confessions by private investigator Gavin Burrows that they became aware of a potential claim against associated newspapers. Mr. Burrows had apparently admitted that he was commissioned by the Daily Mail and the Mail on Sunday newspapers to target celebrities by hacking phones and bugging cars. But in a second written document submitted to the High Court, he strongly denied such activity, prompting Mr. Justice Nicklin, the judge presiding over the case, to warn the claimants that they may have to adjust their expectations of him in light of the contradiction. The claimants have now confirmed that they do not intend to call Mr. Burrows, but instead intend to rely on hearsay evidence in relation to the claims. In response, the court heard on Monday Mr. Burrows had written a third witness statement reasserting his strong denials. Now, Angela, you think that this case is absolutely tanking for Prince Harry and that the judge is fed up with his nonsense?
The judge is very fed up with him, and he's just done a very good thing here. He said, I can understand you being upset or angry, but it does never translate into a legal argument. Quite right. The fact that he's upset or cross, and we're going back for months and months and months. He can't actually use that to say he's got his own way. He doesn't understand that it's a prince who doesn't know enough of the world, that's going to happen. But it's also him being very rude and saying, I am a prince, and if I'm angry, then I'm going to win this. But it's absolutely not. I mean, the Mail, I know, has been making huge efforts to try and find things that that he can't use and that will make everything much better. Very keen that they're not accused. And I remember when I worked there, we weren't allowed to do anything like that. We weren't allowed to try and get people's phone numbers or anything at all. And if we were ever found out trying to do that, we were finished. So, I mean, I've lived through that for quite a long time.
Absolutely, and it is really worth pointing that out, Angela, because Harry tries to paint this picture of a completely corrupt industry. Now, like you, Angela, I spent 2 decades on Fleet Street, working at the Daily Mail, working at the News of the World, working at The Sun. Now, I've obviously turned on those publications since they've become corrupted in the mainstream media. But what I will say, and by the way, I swore on oath at the Leveson inquiry, okay? I swore on a Bible. I never, ever, in all of my reporting, used any illegal practices, never hacked a phone, never used a private investigator, neither did you. So this idea that Harry is trying to paint of an entirely corrupted media industry in the UK is just not right. I deplore the people who broke the law, but he is going too far for his own agenda, and it's because he wants the Daily Mail shut down and he wants Piers Morgan locked up. But look, Angela Levin, do stand by, because we're moving over to Substack now for the Royal...
Kris Jenner allegedly cropped them out of her photos, then re-uploaded after they complained. Imagine being so thirsty for relevance that you have to beg to be tagged. Black Right Arrow # should Harry have stayed home out of respect for Remembrance Day? Comment yes, respect matters, or no, it's his choice. Angela and Charlotte Griffiths claim Harry has no agency and was forced to attend by Meghan. This is where the narrative gets brutal. Meghan as the dominant, calculating partner, Harry as the broken man dragged along. The phrasing terrified of Meghan and her slave is incendiary, and Dan knows exactly what is feeding to his base. Black Right Arrow # do you believe Meghan controls Harry, or is he complicit? Type controlled or choice. Let's debate. If true, this is humiliation on a royal scale. The uninvited guests of Hollywood, desperate to belong, yet mocked behind their backs. The contrast couldn't be sharper. Crown William equals invited by Brazil and world leaders. Lipstick Meghan equals gate-crashing Jeff Bezos's house party. Black Right Arrow # if Meghan and Harry weren't invited, should they have just stayed home? Comment embarrassing if you agree. Dan tears into Meghan's upcoming holiday special, delayed again and refusing to use the word Christmas. Classic Meghan PR fumble, over-promise, under-deliver, and over-woke it. Calling Christmas a holiday in the US is strategic, but for royal watchers, it screams soulless branding. Meghan avoids tradition to appear global, William leans into tradition to appear stable. This is the cultural war in miniature. Authentic British values versus Californian posturing. Black Right Arrow # should Meghan just call it Christmas and stop the woke nonsense? Type it's Christmas if you agree. Meghan's new food post, bagels with cream cheese, strawberries, and flower petals, goes viral for all the wrong reasons. Dan calls it flung together and unappetizing. It's symbolic of the entire Meghan brand, pretty on Instagram, empty in execution. Even royal watchers mocked it. What in the ever-loving fresh hell is this? From the Duchess of Sussex to the Duchess of Cream Cheese, Meghan's rebrand is collapsing in real time. Black Right Arrow # be honest, would you eat Meghan's bagel creation? Comment YUM or yuck. Dan closes the show tying it all together, William's authenticity versus Meghan's artificiality, family duty versus fame addiction. This episode frames the royal narrative in pure contrast theatre, the compassionate heir vs the Hollywood outsiders. Black Right Arrow # who represented the royal family better this week, Prince William or Meghan Markle? Vote in the comments with their names. Black Right Arrow # and tell me, should the royals cut ties completely with the Sussexes at this point?